Hi guys, and welcome back to Lasting Peace. You are looking at a newly 35-year-old woman. I don't feel any different than I did at 16, so I'm curious, do any of y'all feel different after birthdays? I still keep wondering what I'm going to do when I grow up. And that sounds really funny, especially because I think I heard my dad say that not so very long ago. Maybe that is the perpetual joy of life. Even if we get old, we don't necessarily feel old. I hope you are wonderfully enjoying these rays of spring. We've finally started to experience just the fingertips of spring here in Middle Tennessee, and it's about 70 degrees outside, and I am headed out for a glorious walk with the dog here soon. But I wanted to share something with you this morning that I just recently heard in a book I've been reading, but it fits so perfectly with things that God's been showing me in my own life. I've often said, as I've grown in my faith, that for years it seemed like I could trust God with eternity, but not with today. And I particularly felt that way with the eating disorder, and I wonder if any of you caught in addictions have felt that same way. God, it's great. I trust you. You know I believe you. I believe that Jesus died on the cross and he rose from the dead, and I'm saved from my sins, and I have eternity with you, but not really sure about today or the next meal or tomorrow's workout or anything else that we want to meticulously control. This is in a book called The Divine Conspiracy by Dallas Willard, and I'm just going to read you a quick paragraph, but think about it in the context I just gave you. Abraham believed God, and it was reckoned to him as righteousness. We are told in Genesis 15:6. What did Abraham believe that led God to declare or reckon him righteous? Was it that God had arranged payment for his sins? Not at all. The story makes it very clear that Abraham believed God was going to give him a male baby, an heir, and through that baby a multitude of descendants who would possess the land promised to him. He trusted God, of course, but it was for things involved in his current existence. He believed that God would interact with him now. And I never thought about it that way before. At the time of Abraham, God had not even spoken prophecy, except for in the Garden of Eden, about the coming Messiah. And Abraham wasn't a Jew. He was the first Jew. He had no record with this God whatsoever. But he chose to believe this God that began speaking with him and promised him an heir. And that's all Abraham believed. And God reckoned it to him as righteousness. And that began a relationship in which Abraham was called God's friend. And they interacted and spoke on a regular basis. So I just think that's interesting. On this side of the cross, do we stop there, believing in Jesus, but forgetting that from the very, very beginning, God wanted us to believe him, believe the person of God, the person of Jesus Christ, not just the role of Savior. So the next time you are wanting to meticulously or control freak grapple with your circumstances, think about it. Are you trusting God with this? Because I'm pretty sure that most of you listening here have trusted Jesus for salvation. Can you trust him for today? Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.